Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm really good. I'm really good.
Good.
And
It's over to me again today.
yet again, I know, another surprise
Yes.
podcast. So tell me, Charlotte, what are we talking about today?
Oh, so perfectionism. I want to talk about how perfect doesn't exist, but the idea of perfect very much does. And it's an illusion. And I feel like it trips so many of us up. So a biggie. And I know you have experiences of having dropped some of your perfectionism. So should we go to you first?
Yeah, what a juicy topic. And it's something you said the other day. I was like, yeah, I am so that person as well. I'm a recovering perfectionist. Yeah. Like literally, it would just cripple me and hold me back and stop me in so many different ways. This idea of it's not right, it's not ready, it's not perfect, it's not all neat, it's not all tidy. Yeah. And that came through in many ways, in like my work, I can't think of like, examples off the top of my head right now, but I can just remember those feelings of not progressing, not moving forward because of this idea of perfectionism, but then to completely contradict myself. And really ironically, I definitely don't believe in perfection. Now, and I think I thought I didn't before. I think I thought I didn't believe in perfection, but then I was clearly doing something. So I was like, oh well, maybe I'm a procrastinator, and then I was like, oh maybe I'm some like weird procrastinating perfectionist that just like putting those two together, that's just not a good combination in terms of moving forward and progressing in life in any in any arena. So so perfectionism, I think, like you've said, it is an illusion, but there is an idea of perfectionism, isn't there? And I think just letting go of that idea is so freeing and so liberating. And I've got you to thank for this, because since we've met, you have definitely encouraged, empowered, and shown me what is possible in messy action. So much so now that I'm just like, yeah, come on, let's just take some messy action, almost knowing that it's not going to be perfect, even though I don't believe in perfectionism. But knowing that it might not be right the first time, but it'll just be done. I'll have something, and then I have something that I can then develop, make better, work on, learn from, not do again. But at least I've done the thing. And that you really do help me embrace, and we do together, don't we? Embrace this messy action. And what does that give to us? And what does that allow us to do? Wow, it just allows us to create such momentum, doesn't it? And it allows us to, just embrace. And I remember when in our early conversations, it was like, let's just see what's possible. But we had to step into that, let's just do it, see what happens kind of zone, and let go of all that, let's wait till everything's all line, the ducks are in a row. Let's wait until we've done all this and this before we can do this. And it gets you out of that waiting period, doesn't it? Because if perfection is never going to come and it's never going to happen, then you're never going to do the thing.
That's exactly it.
So,
it's crippling. And I like how you said that. It's crippling. And you might not even realise how much perfectionism is getting to you. And I know I relate to that, how you've just said that. I kind of knew I was a perfectionist, but I didn't realise how much it held me back, because I like the way that, I am a neat person in some ways, not always. But I like things in line, I like things in order, and that's good to a certain level. But it can hold you back. And there's two elements to it, isn't there? And I was most definitely holding myself back because I felt like I needed to have every single answer, every single step mapped out before I moved anywhere. And it's freeing. It really, really is. And there was an example that I shared in an email that we sent out this week that was about art classes when I was younger. And I remember sitting in art classes. I was a very neat painter, but I used to look at the people who would just chuck paint at a page and it looked incredible. And I was like, I want to be able to do that. And there I was, like, having drawn the lines. I actually remember the painting that it was as well. It was this hand coming through water. So it was a lot of lines and I was doing lots of different blues. But if my little paintbrush went out of those lines, my goodness, it was like, that's not good enough. Like, I failed, which swiftly then turned into, you know, I'm not good at this. I can't do this. And all of these things that I then held on to. And in reflection now, I look at that situation and I wasn't craving their artistic, oh, I do apologize, their artistic, that was very, I wasn't craving to paint like them, but I was craving their freedom and to be free of that perfectionism. So that if that line went out, I'm like, I'll work with it. I'll make it like how it can be. And it's about making life your very own wonderful piece of art, isn't it? You know, you get knocked off, or, you know, something comes across and might throw us off, but do you know what? It's here. It's something that's come to me for a reason. How can I make this part of my story and really learn and really grow through it? So yeah.
That is such a great example, isn't it? That, and I think we can all really relate to that, you know. And I can really visualize, like, you've really, excuse the pun, painted a really good picture here. But I can really step into that feelings of, like, you know, that sort of like, the feelings inside of, like you said, you don't want to be an artist like them, their style, but you just want to have that yearning feeling to just have that freedom to be like, oh, if I slip with this brush, it's okay. Instead of, if I slip with this brush, I am not good enough. I can't do this, and jump into all those instant negative beliefs that we so easily put on ourselves. And it's just a wonderful example, because then when you do apply that to life, like, life is messy. I know we've been having conversations about this recently. Life is messy. And if we think of life like, you know, creating our own story or our own picture, with that in mind, that if it does go out of the line, or if we do spill a cup of tea on the painting, you know, and you know, in the way that life is messy, and be okay with that, how much better are we going to feel equipped and deal with the things that life throws at us? Because we don't know what is going to happen, do we? We don't know what's around the corner. There will always be challenges, frustrations, struggles in life. And it's our sort of like vision and our perspective of the world, and how we go about doing the things that we do that kind of create the feelings. And if we just kind of step into that space of, like, well, if it goes wrong, if it gets a bit messy, if there's a challenge, if it's hard, it's okay, we can deal with it, we'll work with it. Like you said, well, they, you know, the artists in that class, if, you know, the bit of paint went up here and a bit of paint went down there, they worked with it, and they used it, and they created something more from it. That is just a such a more magical and positive and better perspective, isn't it, to have in life, because it is messy.
Yes.
It really is.
This held me back from starting the Authentic Girls Club, because I was like, to start a business, people are, in my head, people are further along, or people have got more answers than me. Like, surely I can't move forward in this place, like where I am right now. And I did. Then you get to the place where you want to be, and then there's more change, that then you're like, oh my goodness, people must know more than me. No, you've just got to embrace your own journey, enjoy that imperfection. And I remember actually, when I really started tapping into this, it was quite freeing to make mistakes and leave them there. So, like, sending an email with a spelling mistake, or doing something like putting a post out there that, I don't know, I'd missed some punctuation, or, you know, that was not quite perfect. And I was like taking note of that and being like, I did it anyway. Like, screw you, perfection. Like, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's it.
And it was so, like you say, freeing and empowering, because I was like, what is wrong with that? Nobody else is going to pick up on that apart from me. Like, and if they do, like, you know, that fair dues, then, you know, it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
But I think the way that we're so put ourselves down for these little things, we've got to say no. We've got to say no. I'm good with making the odd mistake. I'm good with, you know, taking that messy action, because that's going to get me where I want to go.
Yeah, and there's that choice, isn't there? I've made a mistake. So there's two ways I can look at it here. I'm a failure. There we go. I knew I couldn't do it. All those. Or, okay, I didn't get it right this time. What can I do differently next time? Or at least I've done it. That's the other thing is, and this is a huge thing for me in kind of relaxing that rule on perfectionism and actually completely, you know, abolishing it and saying it doesn't even exist, because I actually got stuff done. I'm getting stuff done. I'm moving forward and I'm making progress. And for years, I would have like just not done the thing because, like you said earlier, I don't know the 64th step, and that would hold me back. But actually, all I need to know is the next step. The first step for me. That's all I need to know. And I can worry about the 64th when I'm just finishing the 63rd step. Yeah. So letting go of perfectionism and completely just not believing it's a thing anymore has allowed me to move forward. And also the extra benefit on that is I'm getting stuff done a lot quicker than I would have in the past. So when we create things, perhaps like workbooks or graphics or content for our social media, historically, I'd be shimmying like lines left and right by like the slightest like left, like a hairline of like, well, it's just not quite in line and it can't possibly go out looking like that. When it's like, well, that looks good enough. And like, it looks good enough for now. You know, we're not sloppy in our work by any means. We still have a standard, but it's a standard that's like, it's, you know, it's just getting it out there and getting it done. And then over time, you know, we'll just get better and better and quicker, but it's allowing us to do so much and quicker than, you know, personally I would have. And then that just builds momentum off the back of it, doesn't it? Action leads to motivation and momentum. And then you're showing yourself that you can do these things, which is building that inner trust and that belief and all these other magical things. So, letting go of perfectionism and just not believing in it is the key. Messy action, it's the key, isn't it?
And I think it is massively something that, you kind of, just to go back to it, no one is coming. Like, no one is coming to push us as Mel Robbins. No one is coming to tell you to get out of bed. No one's coming to tell you to go after your dreams. You have to do that. And I genuinely believe that for so many of us, and please do let us know if you relate to this as well, anyone who is listening, we'd love to know. But that is a big thing that holds us back, because we think that every single other person has it all figured out and they are moving from a place that we aren't there yet. And the truth is, the people who are moving have embraced the messy action and they've been imperfect to get to wherever they are now. And we have this conversation that sometimes, like, I'll put a post out or put a video, or, you know, into the membership or all these different things that we're creating. And I'm like, oh, that felt really messy. And you're like, not at all. Like, in our head, we can be so much messier than actually how it looks to others. So if we're looking at, like, aspiring to be like someone else and think, God, they're really good at that, that's amazing. The other element of it is they might not be feeling that. We're assuming that they are. And that could make us feel like we can't get there. Whereas actually we can get there. We've got to embrace everything that we're feeling and move on through it anyway.
That's it, isn't it? It's just take that messy action, because I know for me, in doing that, it shook off that waiting feeling, waiting for it all to be perfect.
And in that
and because it doesn't exist, it's never going to come.
No, and in that waiting period, that's the overthinking, that's the overwhelm, and it's hard, but you just got to do it. No matter what that step is, do it. Figure out the next step, do it. Figure out the next step, do it. And that's what gets you there. And that's one thing that I do wish I knew sooner. I think we all have our timings of life, and this was when I was meant to realise it. But if you can dedicate a bit of time to taking some action for you to move through what you're going through right now with little steps, and being so proud of those little steps, like that is huge. And yeah, like action got me out of my rut for sure.
What a great conversation. I love these surprise conversations. What a great conversation. So what would you say is the takeaway from this then, in terms of perfectionism?
I think I would love to encourage our listeners to think of something that you want in life or something that you want to do, and just find that one step that you can take today and take it. And just one extra little thing, be so proud of the fact that you took it, because that makes you, that builds the momentum, and it builds that trust within to then take the next step. Be proud of that. Take the next step. Be proud of that. And before you know it, these little steps add up and you're on your way to the thing that you wanted. And just don't wait anymore. Please don't wait. Don't wait.
Yeah. Let go of perfectionism. It doesn't exist. And like you just said, Charlotte, take that next smallest step, take action. And if it's messy, and it might be, embrace it. Embrace it for all that it is, because you'll get used to taking messy action, and you'll be cool with it.
It does feel good. It does feel good.
And when we accept that, it does, doesn't it? And we accept it, we can do something about it. We can work with it. We can make it better next time. But it just moves you forward. And that's what we're all looking for, isn't it? To make progress and move forward. And just embracing all that is and all that is possible. So
definitely. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you for this conversation, and thank you for listening, guys. And please do let us know if you're enjoying this podcast, and also if there's anything that you would like us to cover in terms of a conversation. We are always up for a chat, aren't we, Kat? So message us anytime.
We are indeed. So take care, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.